I'm so excited to introduce to you my new book, Motherhood Redeemed: How Radical Feminism Betrayed Maternal Love by Kimberly Cook. It is available at Tan Books and on Amazon. And in this book, I not only tell my own story about how I was really drawn towards radical feminism and how that caused me to grow a disdain for motherhood personally, how I felt that motherhood was really the lowest possible thing that you could hope for as a woman. It was for those women who didn't have the brains to go to college or the ambition and goals to make something of themselves. Those women who felt like they needed to go right into another situation, from maybe their parents' home to being dependent and cared for by someone else because they weren't able to go out and make something of themselves. So for me, those were the women that basically gave up or had nothing else to offer. And so they just became mothers and kept the population going. But for those of us who were elite and could make it in the world, who could go to college, who could make something of ourselves, we should. And we owe it to society to do so. So I wanted to look at, how did I get there? How did I get to that mentality? How were those beliefs so attractive to me? Because people often ask, what was so attractive about that to you? How did you get down that way of thinking? And certainly it was a loss of my faith in high school and the lack of influence of any kind of faith in my life, and really embracing relativism. And I think we see a lot of that today. And then also I wanted to look at feminism in this country from the 19th century, 20th century, 21st century, how we got to the feminism of today, and even the roots of feminism, the anti-Christian roots, and certainly the differences for good and evil that have come from feminism, because there were certainly many good things that came out of the early suffragettes' fight for the vote for women and for women to be recognized as citizens of this country, to have rights to their children and to have property and things like that. But the feminism that we've gotten to today has certainly transmuted into something that goes hand in hand and is basically inseparable from reproductive rights, abortion, contraception, and even defining your own gender. The idea of what is a feminist is something that I start with in this book, because you really can't define it at all consistently. It's different for every single person that tries to define it. And the thing is that you can't even define what is a woman in the feminist movement anymore, because it's not necessarily being born as a woman. It's more of how you feel, if you feel you're a woman or not. So that's where we've gotten now in society, and that's what feminism has mutated into. And so I wanted to take a close look at how we got to where we are, and particularly how that has affected our view as Americans on motherhood. So I hope you can check it out, Motherhood Redeemed. I think you really owe it to yourself to read about the history of feminism and how we got to where we are, and to hear a little bit about my personal story woven through as well. So I hope you guys really enjoy it.